to because as human beings we're trying to make sense of why that happened, and why that happened, in my opinion, which is right, was his brain was.
Well, who would know more than you?
His brain was getting misinformation, and he was processing reality completely wrong. I mean, I won't go into details, but I did witness him thinking things that weren't real were happening. And to me, in the middle of the night, and that's the other thing, like people say, oh, he wasn't in the same bedroom as his wife. It's like, yeah, because he was having seizures and he didn't like to wake her up.
Oh, God.
It's not a question of somebody not getting along. I didn't mean to get so personal.
No,
I don't mean to talk about his
that's okay.
his home life, because Susan's a wonderful gal, and it's just sad,
Yeah. No, it's awful. That's one of the scariest things is talking to someone who's, whether it's a loved one, a father, mother, that's losing their grip.
And I think people were they were courteous to a point, but I don't think they take his kids into consideration, and friends and people who worked with him for all these years. And I guess I can't expect them to, I mean, I'm sure I've taken shots at people when they pass away, but it's like people would come up and they go, did you hear what Rush Limbaugh said? And I'd be like, I don't care what Rush Limbaugh says. I'm dealing with people who dealt with him on a daily basis.
Let me ask you this. What is this impulse that people have to denigrate people right after they die? It's almost like everyone else is talking about them. Like I saw a lot of that with Prince when it was revealed that Prince was suffering through opiate addiction. Yeah. And I was like, there was like, even Gene Simmons said some crazy shit and he had to apologize, and I'd seen some other people say it too. But it's almost like it's a contrarian thing. Like everyone else is saying, oh my God, we lost his genius.
Well, you get heat from it.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm sure in Gene Simmons's, I'm sure there's a jealousy thing. But you say, I used to say outrageous things about people, and this bomb would go off, and I would get some heat, and I would get some buzz,
Right.
And I stopped doing that. I made a decision. I go, realizing that these weren't just harmless things I was saying.
Right. You just,
I think, it was, yeah.
Because there's a lot of that when Kurt Cobain died too, right?
But, and that's I wasn't besties with Kurt, but I did know him. I toured with Nirvana.
Yeah.
Kurt liked my stand-up and asked me to go on the road with them. I did a bunch of dates.
Yeah, we talked about it.
But I mean, it wasn't like the situation with Robin, but I did have times in my life where I spent hours with Kurt with no one else, sitting around talking and laughing, I don't know why we want to do that. I think
we're trying to make sense of it.
I think we're trying to make sense of it. I think that's where a lot of conspiracies come from. I think when someone who's in our mind reached the American dream and then they die or take their life or overdose, we have to say, well, they had it all. And that's what we believe is the ultimate fulfillment and happiness. America is the People's Republic of spring break, where no one's pursuing fulfillment. Everyone's pursuing happiness. There's two different things. I'm really fulfilled. Am I happy? Am I laughing all day? No.
But you're happy sometimes.
I'm happy a lot of the time.
Yeah, well,
I've never
you and
been
I talk,
happier.
If I didn't know that you're this nuanced guy that's very thoughtful and you have a lot of opinions and you're always considering all sorts of... If I just if I tried to form a view of you based on you and I talking, we're always laughing.
Yeah.
I would say, Bobcat's so jolly. Every time we talk to him, it's like
true.
laughs and hugs and...
But it is true, and it's because we never see each other before noon, first of all. But it's a daily reprieve. It's a daily decision. I get up, the squirrels are up before I do, and I beat them down, and then it turns. And when I'm directing on a set, I'm like, I can react and fear, or I can just sit here for a second or two, and it always usually works out. Very rarely do I have to say, no, man, you just sit there. I think so much of show business is everything's based on fear and people thinking someone's going to say you screwed up or you didn't do it right or you didn't get extra takes and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man, my job is really not to freak out.
Mm.
I'm really happy right now.
Well, that's beautiful, man. I think you're doing some awesome work. I really
Thanks.
do.
I
really
often
do.
tell people to quit, you know, because that's very un-American. You know, never quit, never give up. It's like quit, and then until you end up someplace where you don't want to leave.
Right.
And that's what I've done.
Quit everything that doesn't feel right.
That doesn't, you know, when I made the decision not to go on auditions, it was scary, and it became the best thing that ever happened to me. All of a sudden, I'm freed up, and I'm writing screenplays, and I'm doing, you know. It's like, what am I trying to get on? You know, Who's Your Daddy or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Or A Bird in the Hand or whatever the fuck. You know, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But you find your voice, you know? I mean, it's interesting now to see the stuff you're doing.
And
the
funny thing to me is, like, someone in an interview said, because I make about a movie every year and a half, and they're like, so what is the, you know, who are you competing with? What other filmmaker are you competing with? I'm like, I'm competing with the Grim fucking Reaper.
I am joined by the illustrious Alexander Coleman. Hope you dig the show. Cream Riggins, alto flute. Peace.